Nair Galarza was born on September 11, 1998, in Gualeguaychú, a city in Argentina with a population of around 100,000 residents. This small town is located near Uruguay and is known for its carnival traditions. From an early age, Nair stood out for her sociability and cheerful character. She grew up with her 3-year younger brother, Aaron, who suffered from developmental delays. As a result, learning was challenging for him, in contrast to Nair, who excelled in school and easily learned languages. Their family was happy and exemplary, with a strong sense of stability and harmony. The upkeep of the household was always at a high level, as their mother raised the children with a sense of cleanliness and order. Nair was particularly impressed by the idea of maintaining cleanliness. She felt the need to clean, keep things in order, and often wash her hands. Her father served in the police, and both parents were gentle and friendly, generously indulging their children. Nair dreamed of a career in law, and after graduating from high school, she continued her studies at the law faculty of the university. In addition to her studies, she actively participated in sports, attending daily training sessions and massages to maintain her physical fitness. She had many friends with whom she often hung out and attended parties. In 2012, when Nair was 14, she met 15-year-old Fernando Pastorizo at a bowling alley. Fernando, who was born on January 3, 1997, in Gualeguaychú, was a cheerful and active young man from a respectable family who loved animals. Nair caught his attention, and soon they began dating. However, their relationship turned out to be complicated. They often argued and broke up, but always found their way back to each other. Both were jealous, and this often became the cause of their conflicts. In 2016, the couple went on vacation to Brazil with Nair's family, and this trip went by without any fights. They enjoyed their time together, but even after that, their relationship remained tense. They continued to argue and reconcile. On December 24, 2017, the day before Christmas, the couple went bowling again. 20-year-old Fernando and 19-year-old Nair were celebrating separately with their friends, as they had argued the day before. That evening, a fight broke out between Fernando and a guy named Rafael. The reasons for the conflict remained unclear, as the testimonies of Nair, Fernando, and their friends significantly differed. Fernando claimed that he had been badly beaten, while Nair insisted that he was simply suspicious of her infidelity. On December 28, 2017, Nair went for a massage and later discovered that her phone had died. She remembered leaving her charger at Fernando's place and decided to visit him. After spending time at his house, that night Fernando gave her a ride home on his motorcycle. At dawn, a passing taxi driver found him dead. He immediately called the police and an ambulance. However, by the time the paramedics arrived, it was already too late. Fernando had died. Law enforcement at the crime scene discovered that he had suffered 2 gunshot wounds near his motorcycle, and 2 helmets were found nearby. This horrific news quickly spread through the city, and in the morning, Nair woke up to learn about the tragedy. She posted a joint photo with Fernando on her social media page, captioning it, 5 years together, fighting, breaking up, and reconciling, but always with love. I will love you forever, my angel. Fernando's mother called Nair to ask about the circumstances, but the girl was in shock and didn't know what had happened. Police began gathering evidence at the crime scene and conducting an investigation. The initial theory of a robbery was dismissed since Fernando's money remained with him. This was a quiet neighborhood with a low crime rate, raising questions. Who could have killed the young man? What could have been the motives? It turned out that Fernando was shot with a 9mm pistol, which is typically used only by the police. Could one of the police officers have been involved? Additionally, investigators established that the young man had first received a bullet in the back from close range, which could indicate that he was giving someone a ride on his motorcycle. Then, after falling, he received a second gunshot wound to the heart. Could this have been someone Fernando knew? This theory was supported by the existence of a second helmet. The police began reviewing footage from surveillance cameras in the area and found a girl walking by at 5:22 a.m., but her face was not visible. Nair became a suspect, and she was called in for questioning. She assured them that Fernando had given her a ride home, and that after that, she took a shower and went to bed. When she woke up at 7 a.m., she learned of his death and immediately posted an emotional message online. Nair appeared to be very upset, crying during the interrogation. Investigators finished their questioning of her and then decided to interrogate her father, a police officer. He claimed he did not know Fernando, but this turned out to be untrue. Soon, photographs from their joint trip to Brazil were found, showing that they had been together. Nair's father actually knew Fernando very well, and it remained unclear why he lied. Investigators suggested that Nair's father could be involved in the crime, as he initially claimed he did not know Fernando. They considered the possibility of a police officer's involvement in the case, given that it was his gun that had been used to shoot the young man. After the investigation, it was determined that the father's pistol was used in the murder, putting him in the position of the main suspect. The investigators were trying to figure out what the motive could have been. It was believed that the father disapproved of the relationship between his daughter Nair and Fernando, and he could have gotten so angry that he committed the crime. An unexpected twist occurred when Nair herself confessed to killing Fernando in an attempt to protect her father, who was about to be arrested. She claimed that she had been a victim of physical violence at the hands of the boy. According to her, that night, Fernando had forcibly dragged her home, grabbing her by the hair, which supposedly prompted her to shoot. However, a question arose. Where did she get the gun? Nair had undoubtedly prepared for this crime, as she brought a weapon with her. It was revealed that she had stolen her father's service pistol from the refrigerator, and after the murder, she returned it to its place, allowing her to avoid suspicion from her parents. This fact was confirmed by surveillance footage. When the police asked Nair why she ran away and tried to cover her tracks without calling the police or an ambulance, she replied that she was confused at that moment. Nair did not think Fernando would die and did not realize the seriousness of the situation, and when she learned of his death, she was very upset. Friends of Nair and Fernando gave conflicting testimonies. Nair's friends blamed Fernando since she had repeatedly complained about him, while his friends placed all the blame on her. Some even claimed that it was hard to consider them a couple, as they spent a lot of time apart rather than together. Nair had 5 other boyfriends she had been seeing, and Fernando possibly had other relationships as well. The correspondence between Fernando and Nair showed that, based on the messages, the boy was likely a victim of this relationship. Nair displayed aggression and threatened him, while gentle and kind Fernando complained to friends about the beatings he received while trying to break up with Nair. He was tired of such a relationship and longed for a peaceful life without her. Perhaps this was what drove Nair to decide to kill him. She sought revenge for his intention to end their relationship. Eventually, Nair stated that she accidentally shot Fernando while holding the gun. She claimed that they both fell off the motorcycle, and then the gun accidentally fired. After that, when she picked up the weapon, she unintentionally shot him again. However, this sounded completely implausible. A ballistic expert denied the possibility of 2 accidental shots. Even if the first shot was accidental, the second clearly indicated intent. Surveillance cameras recorded her walking home at a normal pace, having walked over 20 blocks. She did not appear to be in a state of shock or confusion, as she claimed. A graphological examination was conducted, which revealed that Nair had significant emotional imbalance with egocentric manipulative traits. Her handwriting indicated a desire for attention, impulsivity, aggression, and a tendency to lie. Her signature demonstrated a significant emotional imbalance that she tried to hide, but she was unsuccessful. Nair turned out to be a much more complex personality than it seemed at first glance. It was discovered that at the age of 16, she had played a prank on her parents by faking her own kidnapping, which shocked them. Before the trial, the girl was sent for a psychiatric evaluation. The doctor's conclusions confirmed that she exhibited narcissistic traits, bursts of aggression, and absolute indifference to the consequences of her actions. She also had an obsessive-compulsive disorder related to a manic idea of cleanliness. During the trial, Nair displayed defiant behavior. She appeared in shorts, looked at everyone with arrogance, constantly fixed her hair, and flirted with those present. Despite this, she insisted on her innocence, claiming she acted in self-defense, but no one believed her words. Nair's mother tried to defend her, while her father disowned her. However, there was no evidence that Nair had suffered physical violence from Fernando. During the trial, the prosecution laid out its version of events. Around 2 a.m., Fernando dropped Nair off at her home. Upon arrival, they entered her house, where an argument erupted between them that lasted about 2 hours. Fernando expressed his intention to break up, but Nair was categorically against it. At that moment, the girl discreetly took her father's gun, and they left the house. On the empty, dark street, Nair asked him to stop, then got off the motorcycle and shot Fernando in the back. He fell to the ground, and she fired another shot before returning home. Once home, she took a shower to wash away the evidence, blood and gunpowder, then returned the gun to the refrigerator, changed her clothes, and went to bed. As a result, Nair was found guilty of murder and received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 35 years. Thus, she would be eligible for release at the age of 54, becoming the youngest inmate in Argentina sentenced to life in prison. The girl filed 3 appeals, but all were rejected, and the verdict remained unchanged. Now, at the age of 23, Nair persistently claims that she is innocent, blaming the murder on her father, who supposedly shot with his own weapon. However, if that were the case, then why is her father completely absent from the surveillance footage? Instead, the footage clearly shows Nair, who claims she was at home at the time. Her mother, who is divorced from her father, expresses support for her daughter and believes in her innocence. Nair also claims that she feared her father and uncle, who, according to her, raped her, which is why she decided to take the blame upon herself. She recounts that her father was abusive, and now she fears for the safety of her mother and brother. Nair filed a lawsuit against her uncle, and this case sparked widespread public outcry. Local residents did not remain indifferent. Some continued to support her and believe in her innocence, while others consider her crime not only the murder of Fernando, but also the destruction of her own life, future, and the life of her brother, who will have no one to care for him after their parents' death. The parents hoped that Nair would be able to help her brother, as he has a disability and cannot take care of himself. However, unfortunately, she has let down her family as well. In this story about Nair and Fernando, we can see how one impulsive decision can drastically change not only a person's fate, but also the lives of those around them. The murder became not only a tragedy for 2 young people, but also led to the destruction of family bonds, the loss of support, and the ruin of futures. It is important to remember that aggression and violence, even when they seem justified in a moment of emotional turmoil, can have catastrophic consequences. This serves as a reminder that we need to seek peaceful ways to resolve conflicts, as the outcomes can be not only severe, but also irreversible. Remember that your thoughts and comments are important to me, so feel free to share your impressions of this story in the comments. If you enjoyed this tale, subscribe to my channel, where you will find more captivating detective stories that I explore. Your support helps me continue creating new content for you.